All right, good morning, everyone. 大家早. We are here with another episode in our Taiwanese breakfast series. My name is Michael. I am going to be your food tour guide today. And we know already that Taiwanese breakfast is centered around soy milk. We also have seen some alternatives like almond tea and peanut milk as well. And the diversity in Taiwanese breakfast it's mind-boggling to me because there's so many different things that you can have. And another one of the things that a lot of Taiwanese people have for breakfast is tofu. So instead of taking your soybeans and making them into soy milk, you can make them into a breakfast tofu dish. It takes some time to wrap around for certain people, but today I am at 四海 restaurant in Arcadia with 4 different types of tofu for breakfast. That if you're not into soy milk and you like something a little bit more firm and hearty, then this is definitely the way to go. In Mandarin Chinese, we call this Douhua, and dou means bean and hua means flour, so it's kind of like a bean flour almost. When you look at it, it makes sense. So we're gonna start with something cold, the cold and sweet douhua that a lot of people usually like for dessert, especially on a hot summer day in Taiwan. A lot of the vendors will add like crushed ice to it, and it's a really nice cooling and refreshing dessert. So it kind of looks like, if I can show you, maybe this is better, that it's literally like sweet, silky, tender, soft tofu with this like honey, sweet, simple syrup and ginger syrup over the top. Just looks like this. It's very soft, it's very mild in flavor. It doesn't give you any it doesn't taste like tofu, if that makes any sense to you. But it's just soft and chilled and cold and refreshing, especially with that sweet, simple syrup that it's floating around in. Maybe you can see a little bit better right there. There we go. All right. And of course, there's the hot version of it, and I think this is funny because I think younger people enjoy the cold, sweet douhua more, and when you start changing it up into hot douhua, then I think this is more like my parents' generation. They like this a little bit more. But this can be had as a dessert. Sometimes it's served Hong Kong style in dim sum restaurants. But this is something that's also sold on the streets of Taiwan. And if you watch this episode of Street Food Asia on Netflix, there's an episode for Taiwan that is that features douhua as part of their episode. But this is almost the same as the cold one, other than a little bit of a temperature difference. So this to me is a little bit stronger, just because the hotter temperature brings out more flavor, and the consistency to me is similar to like an egg custard or like a chawanmushi, a Japanese chawanmushi, except that this is not egg and this is tofu instead. So also kind of a nice start to the day. This one's got a little bit of a brown sugar, simple syrup flavor to it, so it kind of reminds me sometimes of if you get brown sugar milk tea with boba. It's got a similar flavor profile to it. I like this. It's a sweet but not overly sweet, and it definitely makes me want to continue taking another bite. Okay, so now we've got the 2 sweet douhua one cold and one hot out of the way, I definitely want to try a salty, savory version of the Douhua. And for me, we went from like the youngest generation, sweet and cold Douhua, to hot and sweet Douhua, which more like my parents' generation. This to me, the hot, salty, savory tofu Douhua it's like grandma's generation for me. That's the generation in my mind that really, really enjoys it, because this has got, let me see, let me zoom this. There is rosong inside, which we all know now as dried pork, shredded pork. There are some pickled vegetables like suan cai or za cai. Actually, this one looks a little spicy, so it might be za cai. Scallions are inside, and of course a little drizzle of soy as well. But you know what, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This is gonna be my first time trying it, because as a kid this was not, I wasn't even gonna go anywhere near it. But now, hey, we're trying new things as mid-30 adults, right? Mid-30s adults in our mid-30s. Here we go. So I would say, if you are one of those that are like hesitant about tofu and the texture, the crunchy texture from the pickles in here, and the salty savoriness of the soy and rosong inside, this will definitely make you change your mind about. This is really interesting and really good. I'm kind of unsure why I didn't try it before when I was younger. But yeah, I would say this is running definitely more toward that chawanmushi, like steamed egg custard texture. And the salty and savoriness of it really does the trick. I think this is something I would definitely order again. So maybe I'm gonna join my grandmother in having this instead of always soy milk all the time at Taiwanese breakfast spots. This is better than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so now we've got the hot, salty, savory Douhua, and one thing to note, there's never, almost never, I mean I haven't seen it, of cold and savory Douhua or cold and savory soy milk. That doesn't exist. I think the Taiwanese and Chinese have figured out that that is just not a winning combination. So we'll keep it hot and savory, hot and sweet, cold and sweet. That is definitely the way to go. Okay, so I was planning to... Okay, 没问题. And I would say that my plan was just to have these three, but once again, when we're here at Sihai restaurant, the cashier does a wonderful job of upselling or recommending new dishes to me, and so she asked me to try, or suggested that I try this item right here that's called 卤汁, and sometimes this is called Dounao, which I think is kind of a funky name if you translate it literally, but it basically means like soybean brain or curd, just because it's just got a funky name when you translate it. It doesn't sound as pretty in English as it does in Mandarin Chinese, but this has got lots of different things in it. Of course, the main ingredient or component is the silken soft tender tofu, but on top of it there is little bits of pork. There are wood ear mushrooms as well. There's some what looks like bamboo and scallions and even some broth in there. So this is definitely the hearty way to have another breakfast. This might be more uncommon. Than some of the other Douhua. This is very, very interesting. And really, this kind of reminds me of a hot and sour soup with like larger but velvety chunks of tofu running throughout it. So really like this. This is a really good new suggestion, just like how they suggested that I have the Rowland from last time. So this is a good new discovery for today. All right, I'm gonna continue eating this because I think this has become a new favorite. Both the 咸豆花 and the 滷汁豆脑. Well, that's cool. Are really capturing my attention for this morning. So anyway, have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone. Have a great start to your week, and hopefully you guys get to discover some of this douhua or tofu when the next time that you have Taiwanese breakfast. Don't forget to comment and like and subscribe. Let me know if you've ever had this or what your favorite douhua is. And ciao, I'll see you guys all very soon.